he's hit Vettel as well. Raikkonen is out before the first corner and he's gone.
A champion driver trying to win by nearly killing his rival? When the lights go out and 20 cars are trying to get to number 1 towards the first corner, chaos often ensues. Here's our top 10 list of clashes on the first laps. Number 10. Austrian Grand Prix. The start of the 1987 Austrian Grand Prix at the Ring, now known as the Red Bull Ring, was the scene of a chaotic multi-car pileup that highlighted the dangers of the narrow track layout. The incident involving Nelson Piquet and several other drivers led to widespread criticism of the circuit and calls for improved safety measures. Piquet, fighting for position, found himself squeezed towards the edge of the track. What followed was a scene of utter confusion as cars collided, spun, and crashed into the barriers. The aftermath resembled a scrapyard more than a racetrack. Cars were thrown across the circuit and its surroundings, some with significant damage. Number 9. Australian Grand Prix. The start of the 2002 Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne provided one of the most dramatic opening lap incidents in modern Formula One history. As the lights went out, Ralf Schumacher's Williams got an excellent launch, allowing him to accelerate brilliantly towards the first corner. However, Rubens Barrichello in the Ferrari, starting from pole position, moved to defend his lead. The resultant collision was spectacular and dangerous. Schumacher's car, unable to avoid Barrichello, launched over the back of the Ferrari in a heart-stopping moment. Number 8. 2017 Singapore Grand Prix. As Marina Bay Street Circuit glimmered under the floodlights, fights between teams were to be followed. Sebastian Vettel, locked in a fierce title battle with Lewis Hamilton, knew the importance of a strong start from pole position. But as the lights went out, his Ferrari was immediately under threat from Red Bull's Max Verstappen and his own teammate Kimi Räikkönen. Räikkönen's Ferrari launched off the side of Verstappen's Red Bull, slamming into Vettel's car. The impact sent both Ferraris spinning out of control, collecting Verstappen and the unfortunate McLaren of Fernando Alonso in the process. In mere seconds, 4 cars were eliminated, and Vettel's title hopes had taken a massive blow. Number 7. The German Grand Prix. The 1994 German Grand Prix at Hockenheim witnessed one of the most chaotic starts. As the lights extinguished, Ukyo Katayama made a surprising getaway, leading both Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher before Schumacher reclaimed second place. Behind them, disaster unfolded rapidly. Mika Häkkinen collided with Martin Brundle, triggering a devastating chain reaction. Häkkinen spun off, collecting Heinz-Harald Fredson, Rubens Barrichello, and Eddie Irvine in the process. Brundle, attempting to avoid the carnage, was hit by Johnny Herbert, eliminating both drivers from the race. Further back, a separate incident between Pierluigi Martini and Alessandro Zanardi resulted in the retirement of 2 more cars as well. Number 6. 2012 Belgian Grand Prix. The start of the 2012 Belgian Grand Prix at the iconic Spa-Francorchamps circuit will long be remembered for this crash. At the heart of this huge failure was a collision between Romain Grosjean's Lotus and Lewis Hamilton's McLaren, which triggered a chain reaction of crashes. As the field streamed towards the La Source hairpin, Grosjean made an aggressive move to cover Hamilton. The Frenchman, perhaps misjudging the space available, moved across too sharply. His rear wheel made contact with Hamilton's front wing, sending both cars out of control. Number 5. 1990 Japanese Grand Prix. No discussion of dramatic F1 starts would be complete without the infamous collision between Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost at the 1990 Japanese Grand Prix. Senna, furious at what he perceived as unfair treatment by the FIA in placing pole position on the dirty side of the track, had vowed to lead into the first corner by any means necessary. As the lights went out, Prost and his Ferrari got the better start from second place. Senna, true to his word, refused to yield. Number 4. The 1973 British Grand Prix. The 1973 British Grand Prix at Silverstone witnessed what is often described as the worst mass collision in Formula One history. The incident, triggered by an overambitious move from Jody Scheckter, resulted in a chaotic scene that eliminated nearly half of the field. As the pack exited the corner on the first lap, Schecter's McLaren got sideways and spun across the track. In an instant, his car became an immovable obstacle, triggering a chain reaction of collisions as drivers desperately tried to avoid him and each other. Number 3. 1989 French Grand Prix. The 1989 French Grand Prix at Circuit Paul Ricard witnessed one of the most spectacular opening lap crashes in F1 history. Brazilian driver Mauricio Gugelmin, piloting his March Judd, found himself at the center of a critical crash. As they were approaching the first corner, Gugelmin's car suddenly locked up. In a terrifying sequence of events, his March launched itself up onto the rear tire of Thierry Boutsen's Williams. The impact catapulted Gugelmin's car into the air, sending it cartwheeling in a shower of debris and sparks. Number 2. Australian Grand Prix. Pastor Maldonado, a driver known for his mix of good pace and occasional recklessness, provided one of the most dramatic examples of 0 to 0 in the 2012 Australian Grand Prix. The Venezuelan had qualified his Williams in an impressive 8th place and looked set for a strong points finish. Maldonado made a brilliant getaway. He went past several cars, including the Lotus of Romain Grosjean. For a brief moment, it seemed that Maldonado was on the verge of one of his trademark giant-killing performances. Number 1. Spanish Grand Prix. The 2016 Spanish Grand Prix crash involved the Mercedes teammates and title rivals Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. This moment was most importantly an incident that would have far-reaching implications for their relationship in the upcoming years. Hamilton, starting from pole, was slightly slow off the line, allowing Rosberg to surge ahead into the lead. As they approached turn 4, Hamilton had a significant speed advantage and attempted to pass Rosberg on the inside. Rosberg, defending his position, moved to close the gap further. So, what do you guys think? Which one was your favorite? Do drop your views in the comments section below, and we'll meet again in the next episode.